Please go subscribe to the Rumble channel for Franchise Sports TV under the name FSTV22. Now, I'm using that Rumble channel for any purposes of me getting kicked off YouTube and also for more of my spicier joints. It's free as well. I have the freedom to say whatever I want to say as well. So go subscribe to FSTV22. That is Franchise Sports TV 22 on Rumble. What up, YouTube? Franchise Sports TV back again with another video and another episode of Top 5 Players from all 30 NBA teams, as well as the best player to ever play for that team. This time we leave Toronto and we're going to Boston, Beantown, with the Car Keys. But anyways, Boston Celtics, founded in 1946 as one of the league's original 8 teams. Boston's the most successful team in the NBA in NBA history, winning 17, tied with the Lakers, another successful historic team. We all know the Celtics have a rivalry with the Lakers as well. Now, pretty much, I don't think that rivalry is really as it used to be. I think it's more Celtics versus Heat now. But anyways, so the top 5 players from the Celtics, right? See, this one was probably going to be the hardest one to actually come up with. Because the reason why it's our hardest one to come up with, because so many players, different people have played for this team. And it's so hard to pick. So, I did this. Because I know some way, somehow, you're going to not please somebody with your own list, with your own opinion. Because all these are, in my own opinion, I'm basing on what they have done for the team, what they stand, also in NBA history as well. Because I know some people didn't like my Raptors list for whatever reasons, but whatever. Chris Bosh was that dude for the Raptors for the longest time, but I ain't going to talk about that here. So, I did this in a different way. I did it with each era of the Boston Celtics. So, the Russell and Russell, I don't know how you break it up, but each historic era that the Celtics had, all except for the current era, because I don't think anybody on that list deserves it at all. Tatum and Bron need to be on this list. I bet you somebody's going to say that. But anyways, with no further ado, starting at center for the all-time Boston Celtics list, Bill Russell. We all know Bill Russell is a fine-time NBA regular season MVP, 12-time All-Star Game MVP, 11-time champion, tied with he's tied with somebody in hockey right quick. Let me look it up right quick. I'll make sure it's right. Sorry. Oh. He is tied with Henry Richard of the NHL, tied for the record of most championships won by an athlete in the North American Sports League. So that's what he is tied with. Like I said, he's 11-time champion, 3-time All-NBA first team, 8-time All-NBA second team, NBA All-Defensive first team, 4-time NBA rebounding champion as well. Part of the 25th, 35th, 50th, and 75th anniversary teams. Number retired with the Boston Celtics as well with all teams. 2-time NCAA champion as well. But anyways, stick to the NBA. Bill Russell was a rebounding machine as well as a defensive showstopper for those 50 and 60s Boston Celtics as well, player coach as well. High leaper too. He was an explosive athlete. I don't know why people like JJ Redick keep saying that, oh, these guys are nothing but plumbers and cab drivers. Yeah, I seen the footage. Whatever footage they got of Wilt, Kareem, Bob Cousy, Bill Russell. Yeah. Those dudes could play in this league. If they was in their prime today, in today's age, they can easily play in this league. I don't give a damn. But anyways, I want to keep this short. So Bill Russell at the center. We already know enough about Bill Russell. Rest in power to him as well. At the power forward position, might be a little bit confusing to some, but I had to put him on this list. I was not going to not put him on this list. Because also I think another player deserves to be on this list as well. That he'll be next. On this list at the power forward position is Larry Legend himself, Larry Bird. Yeah, some people might say, oh, Larry Bird is overrated. I'm seeing people say that whenever I had a Larry Bird video a couple weeks ago, I saw somebody say that. But anyways, we know Larry Bird his position is mostly small forward, but he did play a little power forward as well. Played all his years with the Boston Celtics from 1979 to 1992. I also forgot to say, and Bill Russell won. Bill Russell was also the coach too, winning 2 rings. But anyways, Larry Bird was drafted in 1978, first round, 6th overall pick out of Indiana State University. 3-time champion, 3 times NBA Finals MVP, 3-time regular season MVP, 12-time NBA All-Star Game MVP, 9-time All-NBA First Team, Second Team 1 time in 1990, 3-time All-Defensive Second Team. You got to play some defense to at least get on the second team. NBA Rookie of the Year, 3-time 3-point contest champion, 2 times on the 50-40-90 club, back-to-back years. APA Athlete of the Year, part of the 50th and 75th anniversary, and number is retired with the Boston Celtics. They already did say more about Larry Bird. We all know he's a shooter. He was a competitor. And at one point in time, most regard him as being the best player in the league in the 80s, and also maybe even considered to be in GOAT status. But I don't know about GOAT status, but I'm not going to sit here and say Larry Bird's overrated. That'd be the dumbest thing to say. We all know he's a Hall of Famer and college basketball Hall of Famer, and won Olympic gold with the 1992 Olympic team, the Dream Team in Barcelona. I didn't know he had a coaching record 147-67. 21,000 point scorer, averaging 24.3 points per game, 10 rebounds and 6 assists for his whole career. So I'm not going to get much about Larry Bird. We all know who Larry Bird is. We all know who he is. Probably one of the best Celtics ever to play on, best players to play in the Celtics jersey. Set that backwards. Now, at the small forward position, after listening a little bit to some other old heads and actually taking my time to watch him play and see how he played, at the small forward position, I had to put John Havlicek on there. He was responsible for beating my Bucks before they even became my Bucks in 1974, along with him and Dave Cowens. That video is coming out soon. But anyways, John Havlicek, from what I seen and what I heard about him, he sounded like a OG on the court, a real swingman. And I think if he was in his prime today and still alive, I think he'll give plenty of people buckets. But anyways, young people don't know nothing. See, I'm still young. I may not be in my 20s anymore, but I still recognize real. So I'm not going to sit here and try to agree with the 20-year-olds talk about, oh, these players suck. No. But anyways, John Havlicek was drafted by the Boston Celtics in 1972. First round, 7th overall pick. Out of there, he did get to play with Bill Russell and Bob Cousy. 8-time NBA champion, Finals MVP in 1974, 13-time NBA All-Star, 4-time All-NBA First Team, Second Team, 7 times, 5-time All-Defensive First Team, 3-time All-Defensive Second Team, NBA Rookie First Team, part of the 35th, 50th, and 75th anniversary teams. His numbers also retired. Also, he was a NCAA champion with Ohio State in 1960. And his numbers also retired, averaging 20 points per game, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. He's also scored more than 25,000 points. And as well, he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame and College Basketball Hall of Fame. We all know him. Well, some of us might know him as that's how I actually knew him. That's actually found out about hearing that Havlicek stole the ball. I remember seeing that clip back when I was little. But yeah, they beat my Bucks in 1974. Now that I was reading about it and watching the video on the 1974 NBA Finals, I'm like, damn, the Bucks could have actually had 3 rings. Nickname Hondo, inspired by the same movie name starring John Wayne. I haven't watched a John Wayne movie in a minute. He was more of a 6-man in his early years. Before, I think that was when Russell was and Kuzny and all of them was still there. By the time the 70s came around, he became, pretty much the man. So that's why I kind of put him on there. It's just from hearing about him, seeing about him, because I didn't get to see none of these dudes play at all, really. Just to see him about him, he sounded like he was a real one on the court. So that's who I put on my small forward position. I'm sorry, nobody didn't like it. His last year in the NBA was 1978, retired at the age 38. And it seemed like he can run around the court for days. Supposedly he had enlarged lungs that granted him stamina. I can't even pronounce that. Granted him endurance to do all that. My bad. But anyways, recently just died 3-4 years ago. Born in April, died in April. So anyways, that's John Havlicek at the small forward position. At the shooting guard position, now shooting guard position, it was hard until I decided, that's the one I was having the toughest one with. But until I decided to do this, get each player from either the 60s and 50s, the 70s and 80s and 90s, it got a little bit easier. But I know he didn't really play too much of the shooting guard. He's much more of a small forward. I thought when I was growing up, he's more of a shooting guard, watching him play. I think in the beginning of his early years, he did play a little shooting guard. But at the shooting guard position, Paul Pierce as the modern Celtic on this list. Paul Pierce played for the Celtics from 1998 to 2013. Drafted 10th overall, first round pick in 1998 by the Celtics out of Kansas. Cali boy. We all know he's a champion with that 2008 Boston Celtics team. He was finals MVP. He was carried off on a wheelchair one game. 10-time NBA All-Star, second team. Never had a first team. That's one thing about Paul Pierce. He never had a first team. Third all NBA third team. 3-time, not third. 3-time NBA third team. Sorry. NBA rookie first team. 3-point champion in 2010. Part of the 75th anniversary team. And his number is retired with the Boston Celtics. I don't know how they're supposed to have all these numbers getting retired. What are these people supposed to play with later? But anyways, he was big in college. Also, he was honored as one of the 35th greatest McDonald's All-Americans, too. Also scored above 26,000 points or 25,000 points. Only averaging 19.7. 5 rebounds and 3 assists for his whole career. He's recently put in 2 Hall of Fames, actually. Both in 2021, he was put in the Hall of Fame and College Basketball Hall of Fame, because in college, he was a big deal, too. He was a first-team All-Big 12 as well. 2-time Big 12 tournament MVP in 97-98. McDonald's, like I say, he's McDonald's All-American in California, Mr. Basketball in 1995. We all know Paul Pierce played with not the Celtics, but the Nets, the Wizards, and the Clippers, and retired as a Celtic. But anyways, what I had known for Paul Pierce back in the day, in my days of watching in the NBA, in my early days of watching, he was more of a, I always thought he was the slowest person on the court, but he was always the one with the turnaround jumper. He was like a not an assassin out there, but like a surgeon out there with the pull up and mid range. He can shoot the three, of course, too. That's what I know him from. And people like him, Jordan, Sam Cassell, even Kobe, I kind of watch those players the most because I like the way they play. They like how they post up and at their height. Because Paul Pierce is only 6'6", 6'7". Yeah, 6'7", posting up, backing down people, turnaround jumper all the time. I like that game. That's what I like about basketball. The turnaround jumper, just easily just sizing people up and cutting them out, being a surgeon out there. But anyways, at my shooting guard position is Paul Pierce. I think he deserves to be on here. Now, at the point guard position, I had choices being Tiny Archibald, Bob Cousy, JoJo White, but I ended up picking Bob Cousy because I didn't get nobody from the 50s era. Recently, Bob Cousy just had a birthday, age 95 as of right now. But Bob Cousy, at the point guard position, drafted in the 1950 draft. Yeah, 1950. First round, third overall pick. Is actually selected by the Tri-City Blackhawks. Who are the Tri-City Blackhawks, right quick? Tri-City Blackhawks would eventually become the Atlanta Hawks. But anyways, he played for the Boston Celtics from 1950 to 1963. Initially, he retired in 1963, but he would end up coming back to play for Cincinnati Royals, which will become later on now the Sacramento Kings. But during that time, actually, when he was retired, he actually was coaching for Boston College. But anyways, he's a 6-time NBA champion, MVP one time in 1957, 13-time All-Star, 2-time NBA All-Star MVP, game MVP, 10-time All-NBA first team, 2-time NBA second team, 8-time assist leader, part of the 25th, 35th, 55th, and 75th anniversary teams. Number 14 is retired, and he also won a championship with Holy Cross in 1947. He can dribble on both sides, with both hands, due to an injury at early in his childhood. They broke his hand off falling out of a tree. But let's keep going on. I had to pick him on there. I've seen some stuff. I haven't seen him play one time too. I had some images of him playing. I don't know how I saw it. It was like a couple of years ago, and he can move. So I don't get where these guys are plumbers and just plumbers and whatever. Even though some of these dudes did have to have extra jobs because they weren't getting paid $32 million a year like they do now. But I had to put Bob Cousy. I just had to. He's almost the original Boston Celtic. Actually, he won 14 in that team. I think he won 19 with Cincinnati Royals. But anyways, how many points did he score? 16,000 points, averaging 18.4 points per game, 5 rebounds a game, and 7.5 assists for his whole entire career. Now, as far as it's kind of hard to say who's the best Boston Celtics player ever. In the comment section down below, tell me who you guys think was the best Celtics player to ever play for the Celtics, or best player to ever play for the Celtics. Now, there's some honorable mentions I want to say before I log off on here. These are going to be sporadic. You got Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Bill Sharman, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen, Antoine Walker, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, I gotta say that, Marcus Smart, Say some recents. Nate Archibald, Dave Cowens, Paul Silas, Tom Heinsohn. There's many people you can say. I'm gonna go. This list would be longer than it needs to be, but that's my list so far. At the center position, Bill Russell. Power forward position, Larry Bird. Small forward, John Havlicek. Shooting guard, Paul Pierce, and point guard, Bob Cousy. Tell me what you guys think.